Hello everyone. So today we'll be taking an in-depth dive to IRCTC. IRCTC is a distinguished mini Ratna or Category 1 Central Public Sector Enterprise Company incorporated in 1999 as an extended arm of Indian Railways. IRCTC is the only authorized entity by Indian Railways to provide catering services to the railways, offer online railway ticket booking services, and deliver packaged drinking water at railway stations and trains. It has emerged as a comprehensive tourism and hospitality service provider in India. IRCTC is a government company under the administrative control of the Ministry of Railways, with 67.4% of the shares of the company being held by President of India. So let's talk about people first. A good way to understand the people is to check who owns the entity. In IRCTC's case, as you can check below, 67.4% of the IRCTC is held by the President of India, and the 6.5% by foreign institutional investors, 5.5% by domestic institutional investors, and close to about 20% by the general public of India. In fact, 21.5 lakh people in India held IRCTC shares as on March 31st, 2022. Any business is set up to earn revenues. So let's see how IRCTC earns its revenues. IRCTC earns its revenues from 4 business segments: catering, internet ticketing, packaged drinking water, and travel and tourism. Let's tackle each of these one by one. Let's start with catering. Catering has 4 other smaller verticals, starting from mobile catering business, static catering business, other hospitality business, and e-catering. Now let's tackle each of these subsegments one by one. Mobile catering. IRCTC provided onboard catering services in 391 trains through pantry cars. So these are catering services which is being offered on a moving train. Let's move on to another subsegment, that is static catering. As the name suggests, these are static units. IRCTC has set up and developed food plaza, fast food units, refreshment rooms, janahars and cell kitchen on railway station to serve safe and hygienic food at affordable prices to railway passengers. Food plaza is a dine-in multi-cuisine plaza giving a variety of choice for eating. The quality and rates of these items of food plazas are market driven, whereas fast food units are major units where through self-service counters fast food items are sold. IRCTC has 306 food plaza and fast food units across India. Janahar serves snacks and a la carte items, Janta Khana as authorized by the Indian Railway. In addition, Janahar also serves approved brands of packet items such as aerated drinks, biscuit chips, namkeens, chocolates, etc. on MRP basis. IRCTC has 55 Janahars across India in various railway stations. Then you have base kitchens. Base kitchen is a catering unit having large cooking and packaging facility set up in the vicinity of railway premises. These are places where food is prepared and supplied in trains or to static units. There will be no sale of food directly to the passenger from these base kitchens. IRCTC has 11 base kitchens across India. Then you have refreshment rooms. Refreshment rooms are mandated at only A1 and A category stations. Refreshment room serves snacks and a la carte items, standard breakfast and standard meals, Janta Khana as authorized by the Indian Railways. There are about 180 refreshment rooms across India managed by IRCTC. And then you have cell kitchens. Cell kitchens are generally mini base kitchens which supply food to other catering units, static or mobile, and at the same time can sell food and beverage directly to the passengers. IRCTC manage about 6 cell kitchens across India. Under catering, the third subsegment is other hospitality services. IRCTC has set up executive lounges, retiring rooms, and Rail Yatri Niwas and BNR hotels all across India for passengers to have a space to relax and feel comfortable. Executive lounges. There are overall 10 executive lounges across major railway stations in India. To cater the demands of the mid-segment and high-end passengers for comfortable place to relax at the railway stations with facilities to dine in a clean environment, IRCTC introduced these concept of executive lounges. Besides the spacious environment, many other facilities provided here are reclining sofa, meals and buffet service, Wi-Fi and internet services, shower facilities and so on. Retiring rooms are rooms at major railway stations across the country to improve the accommodation facility for the travelling public. There are about 25 retiring rooms across major stations in India. Rail Yatri Niwas or BNR hotels are bigger units managed by IRCTC for travelers. IRCTC is presently operating 4 of these total, 2 Rail Yatri Niwas at New Delhi and Howrah railway station and 2 BNR hotels at Puri and Ranchi. The final subsegment of the catering business segment is e-catering. E-catering is a relatively new service by IRCTC where passengers with reservation tickets can order food online. It is very similar to how you order food on Zomato and Swiggy. They have partnered with restaurants all across India. The food is delivered to your respective berth and seat. You put in your PNR, then you select the food item from onboarded restaurant partner, and then the food is delivered at your berth and seat when the train arrives at that particular station. There are about 1774 partner restaurants as on 31st March 2022 onboarded with IRCTC. You have big brands such as Domino's, KFC, Haldiram, Subway, Nirala's also onboarded too. The growth of e-catering has been phenomenal. From 22 orders per day in 2015, right now there are about 18,000 meals being booked on an everyday basis. Interesting fact, 34,980 meals were booked on March 20, 2022 via e-catering. This was the highest ever. The next business segment that I want to talk about is packaged drinking water. IRCTC is the sole entity involved in the distribution of packaged drinking water, that is Rail Neer, across all trains and railway stations in India. No other brand can sell their packaged drinking water. Rail Neer is packaged in state-of-the-art IRCTC factories. The factories that pack the bottles are fully automated and there is no manual handling of the product to ensure safety and sanitation of the bottled water. IRCTC has 15 manufacturing plants across India and they are in talks to open 5 more plants which are soon to be operational. Currently, total production capacity in these 15 plants is about 15 lakh liters per day. It is expected that by 2023, the total manufacturing capacity will increase to about 18 to 20 lakhs bottles per day. Interesting fact, in FY22, 20 crore Rail Neer bottles were produced by IRCTC. We move on to the next business segment, that is internet ticketing. Internet ticketing has 2 sub-segments, ticket sales and other online services. Let's tackle these one by one. Ticket sales. IRCTC is the only authority that is permitted to offer service of online ticket booking for Indian Railways through application and website. No other online company or any other company can sell tickets. The site offers round-the-clock ticket booking services except for a 35-minute break from 11:45 pm to 12:20 am. Internet ticketing is the largest revenue source for IRCTC with 55% of IRCTC's revenue coming on from this business segment in FY22. Some interesting facts. 41.75 crores tickets were booked in FY22. The total ticket fare that was collected in FY22 amounted to about 38,178 crores. At present, the NGET or Next Generation E-Ticketing System has the capacity to book more than 26,000 tickets per minute, and it had booked a record booking of 26,458 tickets in a minute. IRCTC has started collection of convenience fee on e-ticket bookings, and that is how they earn their revenue. As you can see below, from 38.54% of the tickets being booked online in 2011-12, that trend has steadily increased to about 80.43% of the total tickets being booked online in FY22. The trend of tickets being booked from the PRS counter, that is railway counter, has drastically decreased from about 62% to about 20% in the last 10 years. Interesting fact, ticket bookings during the year witnessed a remarkable increase with a record booking of around 16 lakh tickets booked in a day on 21st March 2022. The second subsegment of internet ticketing is other online services. These are revenue that come from utilizing the large online audience that engage and interact with the IRCTC app and website. IRCTC offers opportunities to reach out to an exclusive registered user base of over 10.5 crore credit-worthy internet-savvy customers spread out over the country and all over the world. As you can see, as on May 31st, 2022, total user base comprised of about 11.5 crore people, active users base 8.25 crore, and every day around 60,000 people are getting added to the system. These are some massive user base where advertisers would love to advertise their products and services, and that is why the revenue sources that IRCTC earns from here are advertising. They have also partnered with SBI to provide co-branded cards and loyalty cards at a one-time revenue to all the people who are coming onto their website and opting for the credit card. Then you have agent fees that is taken from the agents when they tie up, and they also get fees from their own payment gateway iPay. Some of the ways advertising is done via IRCTC are chatbot advertisement, push notification advertisement, captcha advertisement, ERS advertisement, booking mailer promotion, etc. The next big business segment that we have is travel and tourism. IRCTC's travel and tourism products and services include domestic tour packages such as rail tour packages, holiday packages with charter train coaches, customized tours, etc. etc. Then you have inbound tourist targeted trains. These are popular trains that are targeted towards wealthy customers such as Maharaja Express, Golden Chariot, Buddha Special Tourist Train, Majestic Rajasthan Tourist Train, Deluxe Tourist Train, etc. Then you have mass tourism, State Special Tourist Train, Pilgrim Special Tourist Train, etc. etc. Then you have outbound tour packages, air ticketing and corporate travel also come under travel and tourism, and you have other tourism activities as well. Now let's look at how IRCTC earn revenue. Let's start with internet ticketing. As we initially saw, there are two sub-segments for internet ticketing: ticket sales and other online services. For ticket sales, IRCTC collects convenience fees based on the number of tickets booked via IRCTC sources, that is app and website. As you can see, non-AC and AC convenience fees are 15 rupees and 30 rupees GST extra, and if a customer books via Bheem or UPI, the non-AC and AC convenience fees are slightly lower, 10 and 20 rupees with GST extra. I modeled IRCTC growth in total number of online tickets to grow from 40 crore in FY22 to 50 crore in FY26, and that would correspond to a revenue growth from this segment from 690 crore in FY 2022 to close to about 970 crore in FY 2026. Then you have another subsegment, non-convenience fees. Here they get income from advertisement, income from SBI co-branded cards where they get a one-time revenue from selling these cards, and also then they share bank charges where the transaction is done via the IRCTC website. So every time you use a SBI co-branded card on IRCTC's website, IRCTC gets a cut. Then you have agent fees, that is fees taken from agents when they tie up with IRCTC, and then you have fees from their own payment gateway, that is iPay. Whenever you book a ticket using iPay, IRCTC gets a cut. I modeled IRCTC's growth in revenue from non-convenience fees to grow from 320 crores in FY 2022 to around 650 crores in FY 2026. Let's move on to the next business segment, that is catering. So for catering, there are 5 ways in which IRCTCs earn its revenues from. First, income from catering and income from catering other services provided on Rajdhani Shatabdi premium trains, income from concession fee, income from license fee, income from user charges from Food Plaza, and income from license fee, that is Food Plaza. As you can see on the chart below, for trains such as Rajdhani Shatabdi premium trains, where the cost of food is already included in the cost of the ticket, IRCTC pays the vendor for food and receives the license fee from the vendor. Lastly, IRCTC also receives the food payment from the Indian Railways. For Food Plazas, e-catering trains, where the cost of food is not already included in the cost of the ticket and food is ordered separately to ticket booking, IRCTC receives the license fee from the vendor. IRCTC pays 40% of revenue share of the license fee received from the vendor to the Indian Railways. Vendors provide food to the passengers and in return receive food payments from them. So let's suppose vendor gets an order from the passenger for about 100 rupees. At 12% license fee, IRCTC gets 12 rupees, and out of this 12 rupees, 40% that is around 4.8, is shared with the Indian Railways. Hence, IRCTC gets 7.2 rupees. I have modeled IRCTC's growth in catering business segment to grow from 470 crore in FY 2022 to close to 1400 crores in FY 2026. Let's talk about the last segment, that is packaged drinking water. IRCTC earns a revenue of rupees 8 for every bottle sold. This is by checking the historical data on every bottle sold every year. I am expecting IRCTC to sell 45 crore bottles in FY 2026, which is up from 20 crore in FY 2022. Revenue would thereby increase from rupees 160 crore to rupees 350 crore in FY 2026. For the next business segment, that is travel and tourism, IRCTC earns its revenue from 4 sources, that is travel and tour revenue, income from user charges Rail Yatri Niwas, income from license fee Rail Yatri Niwas, and Maharaja Express's revenue. I expect the total revenue to grow from 187 crores in FY 2022 to close to 450 crores in FY 2026. So this is the summary. I am expecting the overall revenue to grow from 1827 crore in FY 2022 to about 3820 crore in FY 26, which is about a 20% CAGR over the next 4 years. By the way, if you wish to know how I modeled all these business segment, please let me know in the comments below. But it is always not all positive. We should also look at all the risk that is associated with investing in a particular stock or a particular company. So the key risk that I feel IRCTC has and one should know before investing are: business and revenues are substantially dependent on Indian Railways. Hence, any change in policy may adversely affect their business and results of operation. For example, the Ministry of Railways in 2016 removed the charges IRCTC levied on passenger booking railway tickets online as service charge rates of 20 rupees and 40 rupees. This had a material adverse impact on their revenues. Second, undue optimism while investing in PSU stocks. Enhancing shareholder returns is not the main objective of public sector units. IRCTC is the sole provider of online railway ticketing, catering services and packaged drinking water for trains and stations. If the government were to allow open competition, it may impact their financial results. Then we have low visibility of growth in the business segments. The percentages of ticket booked online cannot realistically and logically increase beyond a certain percentage. Guidance given by their management was 82%. This was confirmed by Mrs. Rajni Hasija, MD, IRCTC during IRCTC's May 2022 conference call. So new strategies have to be explored to increase the company's revenue. Performance of licenses may impact their result of operations and brand image. High valuation which is not justified by the cash flows of the company, which we are going to look later on. So even if the company is doing strong in terms of business operation, should you buy it at any price? No, you should not. You should always value the company stock and then check it using the current price that is there in the market. So I have used DCF or discounted cash flow model to value IRCTC's share. Again, I'm not going to explain DCF valuation because this video has already become longer. But if you want me to, let me know on the comments below. So sharing the results, I have done DCF valuation on the basis of 2 approaches, that is growth in perpetuity approach and EBITDA multiple approach. As you can see from both these approaches, the equity value that I get is 80 rupees from perpetuity approach, and EBITDA approach I get 261 rupees. Whereas the current stock price of IRCTC stock is hovering close to around 650 rupees. That means with perpetuity approach I am only willing to pay 80 rupees, whereas with EBITDA approach I am willing to pay around 260 rupees. So on average I am willing to pay anywhere between 150 to 200 rupees, whereas the actual price is yet again very high at around 650 rupees. Therefore, even if the business of IRCTC is strong and is expected to be strong, it is not as strong enough for me to buy at this current price. And hence, in my opinion, one should not invest in IRCTC stock at this current moment. There is another way to value a company stock price, that is using comparable peers. So let's check IRCTC versus its comparable peers. In the ticketing business, Make My Trip is somewhat closer and has a similar business model with respect to IRCTC. And as we can see, the enterprise value divided by sales, a metric that is used to understand whether a company is cheaper or expensive, says that Make My Trip is hovering at around 5.48, whereas IRCTC is hovering at a much higher value of 26.6. That means IRCTC is almost 5 times as expensive as Make My Trip. Now let's move on to next business segment, packaged drinking water. With respect to number of bottles per month produced, Bisleri is at 150 million bottles, whereas IRCTC is around 10% of that, 17 million. Revenue earned from packaged drinking water as on 2018, Bisleri earned around 190 million, whereas IRCTC earned $22 million. Now let's move on to catering business. So we have Jubilant Foodworks, which is basically the parent company for Domino's India. Then Westlife Development Limited, parent company for McDonald's. Restaurant Brands Asia Limited, parent company of Burger King. Devyani International, Sapphire Foods, etc., which we are using to compare with IRCTC. And as you can see, again, we'll check the enterprise value per sales. If the enterprise value per sales is higher, that means the company is expensive. So let's look at that number. As you can see, for Jubilant Foodworks, it's hovering around 8.23. For Westlife, it is 5.25. Restaurant Brands Asia Limited 3.94. Devyani and Sapphire Foods, it is hovering at 9.98 and 4 respectively. Whereas for IRCTC, it is hovering at around 26.60, which says that IRCTC is much expensive than all of these individual different brands listed in the Indian equity market. We can also look at enterprise value divided by EBITDA. This also indicates whether a particular company stock is expensive or not, or whether a particular company is expensive or not. As you can see, for IRCTC, it is much higher than any other company's enterprise value per EBITDA that we are witnessing. And hence, IRCTC seems expensive with respect to all these individual companies listed in the Indian equity space. Lastly, let's check travel and tourism business. For this, I have taken Make My Trip, International Travel House Limited, and Growington Ventures India Limited. For all this, as you can see, enterprise value divided by sales value again is much lower than IRCTC's 82.5. They are hovering at around 5 for Make My Trip, 1.24 for International Travel House Limited, and 27 for about Growington Ventures India Limited. So in all the business segments, IRCTC seems expensive with respect to its peers. There is no direct peer to IRCTC, hence public as well as private companies in different business segments and geographies have been considered for comparison. IRCTC has a well diversified portfolio, hence comparable analysis is done for each segment separately. Whether the company is loss-making, such as Make My Trip, Growington, International Travel House Limited, Alkaline 88, or where the data is unavailable easily as the company is private, such as Bisleri, only EV divided by sales is considered to gauge the value for IRCTC. Finally, my recommendation is the risk outweigh the benefits, and hence, in my opinion, one should not invest in IRCTC. And with this, I conclude my video. Thank you so much for watching.